And a one fish, two fish, and a red fish, blue fish. All right, I'm hearing the sound. What? I haven't been getting my echo. How weird. Anywho, Twitch is good. Let's go just double check on the YouTube. YouTube is still showing the freaking cartoon. Yo, see S Bond in the house. There we go. All right, we're good. We're good, I think. I don't think there's anybody else here, but shout out Charles anyhow. Oh, yeah. All right. I'm still kind of working on the Parian outfit, so we're going to do some work on that, and then I have to kind of think what I'm going to do after that because I don't have any plans yet. So I'm going to take a look at stuff I may have started and abandoned. I think I might take the. So Willie commissioned me for the trench coat a while back. It's been actually more than what 2.5 years now. So I might I might revive that and rework it a little bit now that I've got an idea of how to work belts a little bit better and make a product out of that. That's an idea I've had. It didn't do your song. Oh no. All right, here we go. You're right. It didn't do the song. Uh, all right, let's get OBS up here and see if we can fix it. I think my audio output capture desktop isn't working anymore. That's what the problem is. Hmm. I'm not getting that. Why am I not? Actually, it's not saying anything. Let me run this once more. Yeah, that didn't come through, did it? You know, it's that freaking Windows update screwed up my sound again. Always with the freaking updates. Anyhow, let's see if we can screwed up my sound again. Device. Always with the freaking updates. Anyhow, let's see if we can screwed up my sound again. Device. Always with the freaking updates. Oh, there we go. Now it's back. Anyhow, let's see if we can. I get my echo again. Screwed up my sound again. Device. Always with the freaking updates. Oh, there we go. Now it's back. I get my echo again. Device. Oh, there we go. Now it's back. I get my echo again. All right, I think we're good. Turn that back down. And it's funny, it was already set to default. I just had to go in there and say default again and then read. Damn you. Let me just double check this one. And I don't know if that's going to work or not now. I have no idea what that even does. I think that's for my benefit. And let me just double check some of my other scenes. That's the important one, I think. When I start playing the sounds on the cartoons again, I'll have to double check that. Anyhow, hopefully, let's try. Okay, hopefully you heard the Atherin sound. Let me know if you didn't hear the Atherin fart. I'm also double checking and making sure my chat bots are working a little better. They seem to be okay. I thought I was getting double messages, and I am not quite. Let me just double check. What do we got over here? Are you looking good? Chris Coxbot. Yeah, they're looking. They're not. I'm not getting too many weird. It looks a little weird on mine, but that's because it combines everything. All right, we're good to. We're gonna play. We're gonna make map files. Actually, I'm finished with the map files. Let's get this. Let's get this on the road. Let's get Daz in here. I made all the map files for this outfit yesterday, so I need to make thumbnail files. Is what we need to do. Um, Content library. Parian outfit people. I think we did it over. I did it over here. So here's all the map files. So I'm going to set up a thumbnail for this. Let me just do a quick. I remembered to tweak my render settings and save it in my startup program. Finally. So I think that's going to work for a thumbnail background. I think we're good there. I'm going to resize this. I got a little utility. We're going to. What I need to do is here. We'll do this. We're going to set up the dress to use for. Actually, no. Let's not do that. Let's do the short skirt, and I'm going to do the top, and I'm going to just kind of zoom in. But here, let's go back to texture shaded. We're going to make this a square. So in render properties, that's high property hierarchy. I don't want that. I want you. I want you. I'm going to make you 900 by 900. I'm going to just kind of zoom in. I'm going to save this as the thumbnail file. Save as scene. All right, we'll do this in promos. Parian, right in here, we'll do Parian thumbs. Save that. Accept. All right, I'm going to merge these two together. So we're just going to export it as an OBJ and re-import it right back in for using as a thumb generator so that when we put the material file on it, it will apply to both at once. So what do I got here? I got that and that, and we'll hit the export button right there. And I'm just going to put this right in here. And we're not doing Night Vale anymore. I'll put it right here in whip. And let's do this. Top and skirt. Should be fine. I'm going to get rid of these and let's see what we got. We'll import in whip, top and skirt. There we go. Say yes to that. We're going to take a peek at what it thinks the materials are, or the surfaces are called, just to make sure it didn't add any garbage. It did add garbage. Yo, Lund, can't walk around or even cobblestones without sandals. We do have sandals, yes. Why is my phone making noise? Anyhow, I'm going to clean these up. Then we're going to run a utility that's going to generate these. I'm going to copy the ones that I need to make map files for. So we're going to copy all of this. This is for the skirts and the tops. Actually, I'm going to cut those. We're just going to stick it over here for right now because this is an empty folder. Daz was kind enough to add extra garbage to the surface names when I exported these, so we're going to fix that. I'm going to do that with the geometry, and we'll just come in here. Daz is going, you couldn't possibly not want to know which objects they came from, so I'm going to tell you. Probably a setting to not have it do that. I should actually, and you know what? That goes all the way to there. Squate. Squate twin. Squate waist. Top hem. Top. Yo, Sacred Sage, how are you doing, buddy? I haven't managed to catch you recently for whatever reason. Also, I think we have to run the Leo command.
This is Sparta!
And the Sage command. I gotta add a sound for Sage. I think I'm getting. Nah, it's the mortgage company. All right, we're almost ready to run this thing. All right, we're gonna do that. Got Dad a brand new smoker. Oh man, Sage loves this smoker. You actually use a stove anymore, or you just smoke everything now? Uh, I think we're good. I think I'm going to save this. I'm just going to double check. We'll just pop over here. We'll run that, make sure it works right. That works right. So we're going to run a thumbnail utility that basically, oh, you know what? We got to rename this for the thumbnail utility. There's the thumbnail mastery, DS thumbnail focus. So I have to rename this so that it knows what to work with. And capitalization is important here. Thinking of getting outside camera and use it as a cat cam while you cook. Also, we can use the stove like one time a week. I may actually use the stove maybe twice a week. I use the Instant Pot about once a week and then microwave stuff. Actually, I might use the stove 3 or 4 times a week because I do use the burners on the top a lot. I pan fry all my steaks. Um, I think we're good. I think we've hit save. All right, let's run the thumbnail utility. Actually, let's come. I want to delete all the PNGs in here first. So let's sort this by type. I'm going to get rid of all the PNGs because I'm not going to need these. These are the ones that were just auto-generated by Daz when it's saved. All right, now we'll run the thumbnail, whatchamacallit dingy, this thing right here. Thumbnail mastery, available at a Daz near you. And I'm going to use it with. Oh, select a folder. I got to tell it to use a folder. No, did I? Yeah, we're still in the Greeks, right? Parent, people. I'm in the Genesis 9, going to clothing, me, parent, materials. This is the folder we're going to save everything. Okay, this is the file we're going to use to generate the thumbnails. That's that thumbnails that we just saved. These are going to be the files that we're going to run. Geek. And I just stuck that all in here. All right, we're going to open those. Now I think we're ready to run this, and so Dad's had a big sell today. Uh-oh. I have a new thing out at Dad's. The aerobics outfit is out. I think we're ready to go. Create thumbnails. I want to say yes. So what it does is it opens up the file that we told it to open up with. It looks for the object that's called DS thumbnail focus, and then it takes the files and applies it to those. It generates. Oh, I'm going to cancel this. It's generating large thumb sizes. I forgot to set the thumbnail size to thumbnails and tip files. Can I just kill you? No, I can't kill you. Now we're kind of stuck. You know what? I could kill Daz. All right, die. Die, Daz, die. We're going to do that and just restart it. It is. It's kind of handy for generating out my thumbnails and tip files. Um, if I've got a bunch of them. If I got like one or two, it's actually easier just to do the one or two. Control Alt Delete. We're just gonna kill Daz and relaunch it and redo this thing. There we go. Because I was doing the wrong thing, so we're just gonna restart it. And because I'm stuck, it's running through the all the material files in there. So let's do this. And because I Control Alt Delete dash just restart because it didn't take the time to do the content database management stuff it does whenever you shut DAS down normally. All right, this is good. So I should be able to run it again, but this time I'm going to remember to choose the right format. Also, before we go, I'm going to get rid of these two files that it generated because I don't need those. And then we'll just do this again. All right, so and it's kind of nice because it remembers where it was last. I like that. I like it when a program remembers the last place it was working from. As opposed, well, Marvel's Designer remembers the last place it was working from for everything. So if you do an OBJ export, that is now your default location for opening or close or saving anything. Daz is a little smarter than that, so I appreciate Daz for that. This is probably good. We're going to select that. We're going to select all our material files here. This time I'm going to remember to change the thumbnail size. I wish we could customize this. That would be nice. But at least it gives me these options. So we're going to go 91 by 91 PNG and a 256 by 256 tip file. And I think I'm ready to go now. All right, we're going to do it this time. And they should actually run a little bit faster because we're working with smaller sizes. You wish Blender had a similar add-on for creating assets? Maybe. And then we can just pop over here and watch it as it generates my material thumbnails. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop in here and rename these to add a .duf just before the PNG. Daz will recognize these, but it's a little more proper just to have the .duf on it. So we'll use a utility to rename those when they get done. And now we can just sit back and relax. Maybe go put something in the smoker. And these material files are designed to work with either the top, the short skirt or the long skirt. And it's I have things set up so the trim applies only to the hem. So that works out. Making steak, corn, and potatoes today on the smoker. Sounds good. Oh, I appreciate that. I might try to do as I usually do, try to do a whip of this outfit for the gallery too. Yo, Art, what's up? I hope you're feeling better, Charles, by the way. I'm sorry I forgot to ask earlier. Uh, if not, I hope you're better sooner than later. There we go. Art gets a dance too. That's a little loud. I still have to tweak Nap's Morse command so it actually does the shout out instead of just the sounder. Sooner or later, I'll figure out how to get StreamerBot to actually just do the shout outs and slowly move everything away from Streamlabs. Once I get my head around how to do the proper shoutouts there, I can start replacing people's commands from Streamlabs with StreamerBot. And then StreamerBot will go away and I'll be screwed. Actually, I think StreamerBot actually runs local. So I launched the StreamerBot program and I think it actually does everything on its side, which adds a little extra strain to the system. But that's fine. It's not that big of a deal. My chat's looking okay. I thought my chat was duplicating messages from the bots, and I don't know. I went in and I looked at it. Maybe just looking at it fixed it. Much in the same way I fixed my sound today by just opening up the properties, looking at it, and closing it again. Freaking Windows update. Oh no, Art's filling you up too. Lost 30 pounds. Which, if you're looking to lose weight, is good, although for the wrong reason. I'm going to reorganize these too. I think I'm going to start. You can take 30 pounds. Could I stand to lose 30 pounds? Maybe. I'd look really skinny though, I think. Actually, I'm not sure I can stand to lose 30 pounds anymore. I was pressing close to 100. Last time I checked, I was under 190 or something. I haven't weighed myself in like the longest time though, so I don't know. I'm gonna go in and rename these. We're gonna add like little numbers right in here to help organize these. So once these are done, we're going to do a bunch of renaming and we're going to move them back to the main material file. Then we're going to do the belts and then we'll do the sandals. And I still have to make thumbnails for the main wearables. Those we won't use the script for. And I have some opacity files I need to do in here. I should have brought those in here. Oh well. There's our classic dirty looks being generated. I think I actually ended up with like 10 color options 7 of which have additional trim options. You've been munching on papaya and its seeds, a garlic clove, and a tablespoon of coconut oil. Oh, is that just to try to make yourself feel better? Is it working? My pink floral got washed out a little bit. Oh, by the way, Farrell posted in my Discord that Renderosity is having a free stuff giveaway for Valentine's Day. So you may want to go check that out before it's not Valentine's Day and it goes away. And happy Valentine's Day to all those who celebrate. And for those who don't, fuck Valentine's Day. So there we go. We've got everybody covered. We're getting there. We're getting there. Warren white means we're getting close to the end. Then there's going to be Warren yellow. And then yellow comes at the end because Y comes after W. That's part of the reason why I want to kind of add numbers to help organize these so that the yellow ones don't get stuck behind everything else. This always happens whenever I have yellow textures. I have to figure out a way to keep the clean yellow textures from appearing at the back of the list. Figured it was a parasite. Ooh. It's working slowly. All right. Then I go and make. We're almost there. We're almost there. Oh no. There's the big one for the Warren yellow. Oh, it took all your energy. Well, now you have an excuse to relax. You don't need an excuse to relax. You can just relax whenever you feel like it. All right, 2 more to go. Is good. Yay. All right, we're gonna do some renaming now. We're gonna start here. I'm gonna grab just all the small ones. We're just gonna add DUF to these names. Like I said, these are okay for Daz, but Daz prefers to have a .duf in the thumbnail name. Why? I don't know. Nope, I'm not done yet. Hold on. We're going selecty selecty. Well, time to get things together. Hey, thank you for being here, Sage. Take care, buddy. Look forward to catching you soon on stream. All right, we're good. I'm going to use the rename with the power rename. Yep, you got to go on 0.1% of your energy indicator level. um, so we're going to replace .png with .def .png. Should be good, so just apply that. All right, now we're going to organize these. I'm going to sort these by name now. And how am I going to do this? Let me take a look at what we got here in the content library. Okay, that was good. So I'm in the wrong. I'm totally in the wrong place. I want to be over here. So my materials, oh, I think I'm going to make these O1 and O2s. Then the belts will be O3 and O4. And then the shoes become O5 and O6. So we're going to get the opacities and the finishes are right here at the very beginning. Then we're going to have the top and dress skirt options. And then we have the, okay, so here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to select all of these and we're going to replace Perrin with Perrin O1 for the clean versions all the way through here. And I'm going to grab these yellow ones as well. And we'll just use our power renamer. And I'm going to say Perrin. And we're going to replace that with Perrin O1 like that. All right, apply. Okay, close that. Now we're going to rename all the dirty versions, starting with this one. And these become O2s. And then we'll rename those. Right here, we'll say O2. Apply that. All right, these should be good to copy over back into the original folder. So we'll do that. Grab all of that stuff. Come look over and just drag and drop them here in the material folder. Now we'll prep we'll do the belts. And then we'll do the sandals. Belts start right there. And come through to there. So we'll just move those over into the hierarchical file folder for now. And then I'm going to hide you and we're going to load a belt in and then we're going to run the thumbnail thing against the belts. So I got to rename, you know what? I'm going to rename you top and dress, top and skirt. And then we're going to hide you. I'm going to come over here and load in a belt. I'm going to zoom in on the belt. I think I'll go like that. We'll crop in a little bit. And I'm going to rename this. This now needs to become DS thumbnail focus. And then we save this. And then we run the thumbnail, the thumbnail mastery script again. And that is, use the thumbnail file. We're still, that's why I'm still in the hierarchical material file there. We're going to run it against these belt mats. And we're still using the thumbnail size. I think we're good to go. Say create thumbnails and say yes. Oh no. I forgot to delete the PNGs, so I have some extra cleanup I'm going to need to do. I'm going to have to delete out these stuff files and then we rename stuff. Hey, your bird right outside the window. All right, now we just kind of chillax a little bit. This is going to be a really tedious stream. Where are we? We can kind of follow the progress in here. So the belts are all metallic. I've got the belt buckle, and then we've got this kind of chainy, linky belt thing that I'm using on these. And it'll be in gold and bronze and copper and brass and silver. And then we got the dirty versions with the bronze and the copper looking green. You know what? I'm going to sort this by date so we can kind of see how we're going. This way we can see the last one generated, so you can see we're on the copper ones right now. Bronze looks kind of gold. I'm going to hope that's what bronze really looks like. I honestly, off the top of my head, don't know what a clean bronze looks like. It's kind of in between a brass and a gold, isn't it? At least this one is. My gold is pretty yellow. Okay, it should be generating the silvers now. And then it does that, and then it should be doing the worn versions. I probably should have shortened up the maximum iterations from 5,000 to 2,500. Probably be more than enough. I can actually see it running here, and it is running all the way up to about 5,000 on some of these, it looks like. Although, honestly, past 2,000, you start not seeing the difference. Oh, there's our worn brass. Here's our worn bronze. It's got that nice green patina to it. Copper also gets a nice green patina. Now we're doing the gold. Gold doesn't get a patina, it just gets a tarnished look, like the silver will too. I just use my generic grunge shader on that. Where are we at? I think that's the last one, right? Silver. I can see it's going, it's getting there. 39, 41, 46. Done. It's done. All right. We're done with that. I'm going to rename you Belt. We'll load the sandals in. Going to cancel that. Control. I think I'll render the sandals like this. Let's make sure that they're above ground. We're going to rename the sandals. We're going to pop over and clean up the other files first before we get here. So this will become DS thumbnail focus. I'll hit save on that. And we'll pop over here and clean this up. All right, I got a bunch of extra. These I'm going to get rid of. Daz will still show these instead of the other ones first. I think we're good. I don't know why these are backwards. How many did I select? 10 items. Is that right? That's right. All right, delete those. All right, we're going to rename these to be, add the Duff into the name. Then we're going to rename these to be 03 and 04 in front of the name. So let's rename it the Power Renamer. Let's replace Ping with Ping Duff. Duff Ping. Apply those. Those are now nicely named. Here, then we'll sort this by name. Just makes it easier. Come through here to here. Rename these. Gonna replace parent with parent 03. Close that. Okay, then get the Warren. Rename those. There's going to be parent 04. Should be good. All right, let's put these back into the material file. And let's run over here and get the sandals out of here. They should all be at the end now. Right through there, and I'll just move those over into the hierarchical material file for a little bit. This time I'm going to remember to delete the pings before I run the thing. Sort by type. Delete all of these. All right, back over into here. All right, you are renamed. You are saved. And then we'll just relaunch the script to get these done. So you are the thumbnail file. You are looking at the hierarchical materials file. These are the folders we're going to make thumbnails for, or the files. That is looking good, so we can create the thumbnails and say yes. And now we get to relax again. At least we hope we do. While you get to watch this generate, they should start popping up over in here. You got the black sandals. You got the brown sandals. Oh, I got gold sandals. Shiny. Had I been paying attention, I would have changed the maximum iterations on the render, but I wasn't paying attention. Hey, we got purple sandals. What's up next? Red? Yep, there's the red sandals. I think after red is probably tan. No, silver. I got silver sandals. I forgot I had silver sandals. Then we have tan sandals, right? Tan white and yellow, but we won't see the yellow because it'll run through all the worn sandals first. Here's our whites. Now it's probably going to do worn black. There it is, worn black, because yellow comes after worn. And this is the reason why I'm renaming things. So the sandals are going to be Perrin 05 and Perrin 06 for the worn versions. There's our worn or dirty brown ones. There's our worn gold. Purple and our worn red. Means what? It's next. Worn silver. And then worn white. Worn yellow. No, worn tan, then worn white. That's right. I forgot about tan. Here's the worn yellow, and then we get yellow ones at the very end. Okay, one more to go. Come on. It's done. All right. So I still have to make thumbnails for these. I think I'm going to do those individually. We'll just do that one at a time in here, which means I'm going to tweak my render settings to be 256 by 256 so that they're tip size. And I'm going to rename, I should rename this actually top and dress. I think these are all for the tops and the dresses. Yep. So I probably should actually say that. Or maybe not. Maybe I just show it. How'd you bring you back to life? Zoom in on that. All right, let's come over here and do a little bit of organizing. We're going to rename these. We're going to add a .duf in front of the .png. All right, use the old power renamer for that. So I want png, and I want .duf.png, and apply that. Should be good. All right, now we're going to reorganize. So I'm going to take all the way through here, and we're going to add these three, and these become Perrin 05 sandals. Okay, then we're going to select the worn ones. Through here, these become Perrin 06. Okay, those should all be good to go. Actually, let's move these back into the material file now. They're our home again. All right, let's refresh and see what we got. See, now we have these organized. Those are the nice clean textures. Then you have all the dirty, worn top and skirt textures. Then you have the clean belts and the dirty belts. And then you have the clean shoes and the dirty shoes. So now I'm going to do the opacity options. Let me apply white onto this. And I'm going to turn this to a light gray. Actually, I have to do this over here on the surface tab to kind of give it a generic color. Then we come back over here, and what we're just going to do is we're going to apply our opacities. That is the default opacity. And actually, let me rename these. And what was I saying here? Top and skirt. Oh, actually, let me put this at the end. And I'm going to just copy that. And then we'll just rename all of these. Put this at the back. All right, should be good. Now we're going to render out the tip files. Then we're going to go in and make small versions of those and rename them a little bit for these. All right, we have applied the default, so we'll just hit the render. Let that do its thing. So the default looks like that. It's got a little bit of opacity on it. It's hard to see. And then we just save you over into the Greek folder. And here, and people, and Genesis 9, and clothing, me, outfit, materials, and we'll overwrite that right there. Is good. All right. Opacity full. This has no opacity map. This is just completely opaque. Probably doesn't look a lot different from the default, but there's a slight difference. I do that just to confuse users. Because what is that? This is the glitter. Glitter has a nice little trans map on it. It would be naughty if there was a character underneath it. And this is actually designed to be a glittery gold. There's one material that uses that, the glittery gold. Anyhow, update that. What are you? Tattered long top. Tattered long top. Long skirt. Let's rename you. I should actually show a long version, so we're going to swing back to that one. We'll do this one. Unfortunately, to get a proper fray in here, I separate the long. I make separate files for the long and the short skirts. And you can use the top with either one. I should rename this too. We'll do that so that skirt comes first. Maybe I should say skirt and top for everything. Nah. Let's get rid of that. Come over here. Do that. There is a real thin opacity, very gauzy like. At least that's the plan. That would definitely be something I probably can't show on Twitch if we had a character wearing it. Because you would just be able to make out the naughty bits a little bit better. Okay, trim matte and trim. I need to show the trim on these ones. How do I want to do that? You know what? So for these are special. I'm gonna put, why don't I put the black, or is it the red? You know, let's try the red. Let's cancel that. Try the red. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna zoom in on where the trim is. You can't see it because of the weird way, the, I don't know, what do you call this? The texture shaded view doesn't really like opacity maps on top of each other. So anyhow, let's do that. And matte. And then I'll just do this. And you're not really, it's not going to really look special, but it looks special when we put the metallic on it. You're looking a little weird. I have to resave that. That's saved with some strange settings. So I'm not going to render that. We're going to fix this. And how do you look? Not only are we rendering thumbnails, we're also checking our material settings. And I'm just going to do, how do I want to do this? I want to just save. So here, let's apply that. And I'm just going to save this without the texture file. Everything else I think I can save. You don't want to really run that against the glitter because it'll do weird things, but that's okay. Yeah, let's try this. Let's save as a material file, and I'm going to overwrite that. And we're just going to uncheck everything we don't need. And where am I? I'm here. I'm going to hit save as a material file. I am in the D-Force presets. Okay, let's not do that. Let's come over here to the materials. I'm going to save this right here. Trim matte top and skirt. I'm going to say okay to that. I'm going to uncheck everything. And what I want is I want something on the skirt hem. Base. Is it in diffuse? Reflection. I'm trying to think the best way to do this. Well, let's try this way. Here, let me put this share default, no modifications. I didn't have this selected. Let's try that again. Shader default, no modifications. Then I want to just adjust the skirt hem and the top hem. And what I want to do is I want to set the metallicity to 0. I'm going to come back and check that manually. And then I want to set the glossy roughness to whatever the roughness map is for this 0110 underscore roughness. Then I'm going to do this. Then we'll do a save as a material file. I'm going to overwrite that. Already exists. So we're just going to check only all modifieds. We're also going to uncheck any simulation settings. And then down in here, I want to set the metallicity to be, I actually want to set it to, I want to check it on. If I can figure out where the metallicity is. Where do you hide metallicity? Is it in the diffuse, reflection, metallicity? I'm going to go ahead and check that on. And then I'm going to come down to, we're going to do the same thing over here and see if this works out. So this should be just the roughness turned on, right? Glossy roughness. And then over here in diffuse, reflective metallicity. All right, let's see how this works out. Accept that. Wait for it to do its thing. So we're then going to apply texture on here, and then I'm going to reapply that and see if that how that works. It should only change the maps I have selected, and only on the hem and the top on the hems. That's what we're trying to do. Oh my god, it's so slow. This is the reason why if I'm doing lots of files, I will turn the content management system off. Because it's taking all this time to rewrite the database. And in my case, I have so much crap from Daz. It takes a long time to do that. Oh, oogly boogly, this is slow. All right, I think it's good. All right, let's try this. So we're going to put that on, right? I'm going to switch this to iRay so we can kind of see it. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to apply that and see if that it's sheening the whole thing up. Let's see how it's changing it as opposed to this. Um so it should only be janking out my roughness, right? My glossy roughness. Is it adding something else in here? If I do, and my metallicity. So the metallicity should go to 0. And this should just, you know what? I'm not putting the map in, am I? I forgot the map. That's why it's not working. All right, let's back up a little bit. So I'm back to here, right? Oh, you know, I forgot to dial that up. That was my problem. All right, we're going to save this again. It'll go faster now that it's already done the database, right? Overwrite that. We'll just do the modified only. It should help reduce this. Nope, I didn't do that right. Let's try this again. Um, so script, I'm just going to reapply. Reapply this generic default shader here. Then if I do that, and in here and here, I have that, but I gotta dial U in, which is what I didn't do right last time. And now we're gonna hit save on this. and send that over on top of this one. Say yes. Uncheck. No, I want to check only all modified. There we go. And then we want to come down in here and check metallicity for both of these. And accept that. That's probably where I screwed up. It still looks a little shiny. Weirdly shiny. Oh, it's just because of generic settings. Okay. Did that save? That probably saved. Okay, now when I apply this, does it look weird? We're good. All right. Now I have to fix this one. So I probably did the same thing when I saved the metallic version. So once again, let's reapply our generic shader or default. And then we're just going to work on the top hem and the skirt hem. And metallicity is like that, but we're using a map for this. Is that in here? Trim metallic, like that. And then we're just going to tweak the roughness. Glossy roughness needs to be cranked up to 1. And we're just going to use the trim metallic roughness map there. So that's kind of what we're trying to get, so I can just make the trim look metallic. All right, now we'll save this, and this is going to be painfully slow. And I clicked on the wrong thing. There we go. Trim metallic top and skirt. Okay. Art exists. Yep. This one I should just be able to get away with. Check all modifieds. And these are okay. We're all good. All right, I'm just going to say accept that. And now I'm ready to make the thumbnails. Well, not until after it saves. And that should get us done with, and then we just have to make teeny versions of these, tweak the names on them a little bit, and I should be done with all the material files for this project. Copy these over. I still have to make hierarchical materials. I think there'll be 18 of those, 9 clean and 9 worn versions. I still have no idea what to do for the next project. I don't know. All right, let's double check this, how it's working. So that loads in. It should be by default looking flat, right? If I do that, it should make it look shiny. Ooh, shiny. Then if we do the other one, it should change it back to matte. Yay. So I'm going to use the white version for this, I think. No, you know what? I think I'm going to go with the red. Yeah, we'll use the red. All right, that's going to be our our flat version. That's right, shiny. Um, let's switch you back to texture shaded. Let's do render. All right, probably good enough. Opacity. Oh, I still have to do the long skirt. We'll do that in a minute. Um, this is that one there. Yep. Apply that. Render this. This should be the shiny one. Should be good. Override that one there. Okay, I still need to do a long skirt. So let's hide everything. And let's load in. Oh, I still need to make thumbnails for this. I think we'll do that. And so there's the long skirt. There's the top. Let's set these up. Also, I should probably apply materials and resave these. I think the white will be the hero, or the green, or the purple. I'm leaning towards white. I'm still thinking. Anyhow, let's grab these. Let's run over here. I am going to just put the white on here for this thumbnail. And then we'll pop over here and change the color to my generic color. And we come back over here and we'll apply the long skirt tatter on those. And then we'll render that out. And that's kind of the tattered long skirt look. So we'll save you. Now I'm ready to finish these up. All right, let's browse the file location. And these should just be the ones at the top. So I need to get rid of you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and what, 9? It says 8. It says I selected 8. Chris can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why did you come out white? I gotta redo these. I screwed those ones up, didn't I? Yeah, I don't want those to be. I want these to be this color here. Ugh. How far back can I undo? I think I went too far. All right. Did the color get changed while I was working on this? Is that what happened? I wonder if I accidentally saved stuff I didn't need to save. That happens sometimes. So the ones that are the glitter top and skirt. Yeah, I think that color changed. That color did change. I got to resave the color, that one. So I just needed to save the opacity on that. I got a lot of other stuff. All right. Let's once again we're going to reapply that. And we're going to so hem trim hem trim waist. I'm going to set the opacity on those to be 1. if I can find opacity again. There it is. Okay, then skirt and top. Those are also one, but they get a trans map, outfit, glitter opacity, or something like that. It should be right in here somewhere. I'm not seeing it. All right, let's browse. Glitter opacity. I want that. And then I just want to save this like this. That's going to go over that one there. Say yes. Check only. All modified. Yo, Axel, how are you doing today? Uh, uncheck all simulation settings. We'll take a quick peek and make sure I'm just changing opacities. Should be good. Hit save on that, and then we'll just impatiently wait. Uh, while Daz goes and does its thing. I'm rendering out thumbnails for material files right now. Those ones came out the wrong color because one of my map files wasn't working right. So we're fixing the map file. I'm going to re-render these files here. Aquel or Axel? Aquel Foley, is that it? Oh no, that's art. That's art. Axel Foley. God damn it. Now I have that song in my head. Frickin' art. That's a fun movie, but let's be real there. Eddie Murphy just does so much stuff that would be bad copying. Breaking and entering. That's your theme song. Axel F. Isn't that it? All right, are we done? We're done. All right, can I let's see if this looks good now. Put the white on. Come over here. Load up the gray. Run back over here. Launch the glitter. All right, that's better. Render that. Save that over that one right there. Okay, and then I have to redo the tattered short skirt and top. That's stuck in your head too. Yeah. All right, overwrite that one. And you are the thin opacity, which we can't put on a character, at least not a character with naughty bits, because you would see the naughty bits through this one. All right. These are good. Now we're ready to resize these. Or actually, you need to go away. All right. Use the old power tool resizer. 91 by 91. Now I have to rename these because power tool adds extra garbage to the file names. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. Rename with power rename. Let's see. Are you still in here? Tip Duff. That looks about right. And you need to become I need to just make that dot deaf, I think. Yeah, that's good. All right, apply that. Have you seen the fourth movie? Still has the original. There was a third movie? I saw the one that just came out, what, last year? Is that the one we're talking about? And included Judge Reinhold? Yep. I thought that was just the third. There was a third one? I vaguely remember a second one. I did watch the Netflix one with Old Eddie. Hey, I was just wondering, I had seen a reel from Parody Mocap on YouTube doing Daz hair simulation. Was the hair really? Yeah, you can actually simulate hair in Daz. I don't like to use it because I find it a little slow and it doesn't play nice with clothes. I imagine you could run a simulation with that. So I mean the tools are there to do it. Is this good? I think this is good. I think I did that already. All right, let's see how we're looking. I've played a little bit with some making fur for stuff. Let's refresh. Yay, my thumbnails are all done. All right, you know what? We're just gonna make thumbnails for the other parts of the outfit. Also, I'm gonna resave these. This is, you know what? I don't need this in here anymore. I think I can cut that, put it over here, out of the way for now, and then we'll go back and I'm going to load these in, give them textures, and resave them back out. And I think I'm just going to go with the white. So let's get a Genesis 9 in here. Yep, it's the third one. So is there a fourth one? Or are you just messing with me, dude? That art likes to mess with people. You got to watch out for art. Now that he's getting over whatever was making him ill, he's feeling feisty again. How's the music going, by the way, Art? Now that you're doing music these days, you and Snow Bunny got anything done? I'm dialing in the feminine shape, feminine, feminine, papi, papipi, feminine. Sorry. Uh, I'm wondering if you could export Daz's hair to Blender. It depends on the hair. I think you can export out the control strands. If it's a deforced hair, it's probably using what am I thinking? The geometry part isn't all the hair. It's like control hairs or something like that. So one hair will generate a bunch of hairs. And that I don't think you can actually get out into Blender. But you can do the control hairs. So I know people that at least I think they do this. One of these days I keep meaning to do hair because I want to do a good Betty Page hair. Ha! But I keep not able to focus on how to do that. Um, but you can kind of get the control hairs into Blender, make morphs with that, and get it back. If it's older hair and it's like old card old card based geometry hair, that of course you could put into Blender, but that's not deforced hair. If you're thinking about hair you could simulate. You could probably get the control hairs into Blender and then use those to generate hair. But like you would in Blender, because I think Blender you can take curves and use those to generate hairs. Anyhow, it's not something I'm overly familiar with, to be honest. I'm going to put a few things on here, and I'm going to figure out what my hero textures are going to be. I think I'm going to go with white. Do I want to? Yeah, I think I'm going to use silver for the hero shoes, and maybe silver on the belt. So let's pop over here. So we'll do the white with the blue trim. We'll do silver on the belt. And I think maybe we'll do the silver shoes, silver sandals. I think I'm going to go that. Actually, I do have a D-Force hair thing I could take a look at. I don't know if it makes. I always forget what they control. What they call the actual geometry part, the controls or something. I don't know. I forgot. I've completely forgot. This is one of my problems. I've done a few things that just kind of use D-Force hair to make fur, but it always falls out of my brain the next time I have to do it. I think this is good. We're going to resave these with the textures. Also, I need to get the short skirt resaved. We'll bring that in a minute. In a minute. Let's do that. Let's do the short skirt. Let's select the short skirt and put the white texture on it. Okay, and now we'll just save and make our thumbnails. So let's hide you. Oh no, the skirt didn't attach. Let's try that again. I forgot to have the main figure selected when I loaded the skirt in. Or did I? Are you just not loading in right? Oh, you know what? You're just not parented right. I have to resave that anyhow. Do that. All right, are we going? I'm going to hide you. We're going to start with the belt. And I'm going to save this. That's the Genesis 8, so let's not save over that. That would be bad. Want to watch a grown man cry? I'll watch me save over something that I shouldn't have. There it is, belt. We're going to resave the belt. Already exists. Me, product name, belt, accessory waist, looks good. Okay, let's do a render. This will be the thumbnail for it. I completely faked all the detail on that with displacement maps. I'm going to double check my camera and make sure I don't have the fuzzy filter on. I wasn't seeing it on the other thumbnails, but who knows? I might have inadvertently left depth of field on, as I have a tendency of doing. Nope, it's off. Okay, so we're good. And we're just going to come over here and I don't know why that's not showing the right size. Let's say extra large thumbs. There we go. That's better. All right, belt is good. Hide the belt. Select the sandals. I'm going to do this. These sandals are designed for flat feet, so we're not saving feet poses. As if we were if something had a heel, but in this case we're fine. If this had to had the feet posed, we would save it as a wearable preset and save the foot pose with it. But I don't have to do that today because we're slackers. All right, me, outfit, sandals, footwear, G9 base, looks good. All right, let's render the thumbnail. Actually, we're rendering tip files. We will make those into thumbnails. And I'm stuck in the ground. Yo, Charles. What is setting off D4 in the skirt that keeps going through the legs in a kneeling position? What is setting it off? I mean, is it too stiff? Is the collision distance not on? Is it not turned on? Um, are the legs visible in the render? What setting is off is what you said. Oh, what setting is off in the D-force that keeps the skirt? It might just be the D-force strength. Depends on the skirt. Here, we'll bring that up in just a second. Control D. I'm going to render this real quick. The legs are visible in the render. Well, are they visible in the simulation? It's a separate. It probably are, because there's no reason most people would be changing that. I'm going to save over that. Yes, they are visible in the simulation. It might be the D-force strength is too low or something. A lot of people will lower the dynamic strength setting. Here, let's get a dress in here. And we'll take a quick look at that. I can point out exactly. There's the long skirt. So we'll pop over here into the surface tab. We'll take a look at the skirt settings and we'll run down to the D-force. Right here, the dynamic strength. A lot of people will adjust that to be a lot lower to make their skirt still dynamic but stiffer. So change that, just maybe reset that back to 1. Of course, now it'll probably lose, and they do that if they kind of have, if they kind of want to hold the shape to a certain extent. That would be what I would look at as to why the skirt's probably falling through. D-force strength is probably the main reason. Because is the skirt trying to hold kind of its shape? Hang on a minute. I'll try it again. It didn't show simulation anywhere. Oh, that could be a problem too. You might need to just re-add the D-force. I've seen that happen where I had something D-force but it lost the simulation settings. In which case you can just add them back. Select your skirt, go over to simulation settings, tab wherever you have it, come up into here, D-force, and then just add. Well, the skirt D-forced really good, but it fell through the legs, but it looks like it's working this time. Of course. All right, I'm ready to resave the skirt with the textures applied now. We'll do that. Boop. This is the long skirt. We'll do that. I'm going to say, yes, this skirt long, wardrobe skirt looks good. We'll do a render. And we'll make another tip file for this. Is good. Boop. That's his long skirt. We'll do that one. Okay, the short skirt. I'm going to leave that right there. Resave that with the texture and also the parenting. We fixed that. It's me, parent outfit, skirt short, wardrobe skirt, looks good. Control R. It worked this time and you have no clue. Oh, you didn't have how it was supposed to without. Yeah, it's there, but somehow it got hidden. I know what you mean. I have seen that before and I don't know what causes it to happen. I think if you reapply the D-Force, it will pop those settings back up again. I mean, I take it that you are viewing the hidden stuff, right? Parent, skirt, short. I'm saving over that, right? So, I mean, we do have show hidden. Do I have show hidden on here? Is there show hidden in here? I thought there was a show hidden in here for surfaces. Do I actually have to select something? Is that it? Is that my problem? Because I know I can hide these. What happened to the thing that says show? Hidden properties. Where did they go? Or is that just in the parameters? Did that go away? Oh, I can't find it anymore. You didn't have anything hidden, but it didn't have a smoothing modifier on it. You added, but it was actually showing somehow that it had D-force settings because when you went to the D-forces, it didn't tell you that nothing was in the scene to D-force. Yeah, there is that too. Yep, that's how I test to make sure that I have D-force turned off. I'll run the simulation and it'll whine. I have a bunch of stuff that is hidden in here and I can't get it to show anymore. Why is that? Oh no, it's under preferences. There it is. Show hidden properties. There we go. Doy. Um, I have a shader that hides most of the properties. Just makes it a lot easier for me to work. Anyhow, did I just save this? I think I did. Just to double check. I did. Okay. And now we just need to do the top. And then I'm going to save this as an outfit. Short skirt or long skirt? I'm thinking I want to go short skirt for the hero um, outfit, is what I'm thinking. What am I doing? I'm going to hide you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to zoom in on you. I'm going to resave the top with the textures applied. I probably have to remember to resave these again anyhow. So it's me. It's the outfit. It's a top. It's a wardrobe shirt. Is good to go. All right. Render that thumbnail. I'm going to save this as an outfit now. Okay, that gets saved right there. Yep, right there. Right, content library right here. Um, so here, let's get everything visible again. You know what? I'm just going to delete these eyeballs. And I'm going to get rid of the long skirt. We're going to save the default outfit like that, I think. I'll do that. All right, so save, select Genesis 9, click wearable preset. You're going to be pairing, and I'm going to put an exclamation point. Daz doesn't like exclamation points at the very beginning, but I can put one over here. And this way it ensures outfit is the first thing in my list. And we're going to save all these parts, and we're all good to go. And I don't have to save any poses or anything, because usually if I've got the feet posed with heels, I have to save the pose with this. But like I had said earlier, this is just a flat foot pose, so I don't have to do anything special here. All right, let's hide that and render this. And then after, I'm going to do the same things for the Genesis 8, and then I'm going to try to, I think I'm going to look at, I'm going to try to come up with some ideas for new projects. I think that's what it is. I think I was going to do the trench coat. I think I got to get out my project list and update it. It's way old, so I could probably just delete everything and start new on that. And we're going to put that thumbnail right there. And let's go to the folder here. And we're going to get rid of these stupid little thumbnails. And then we're just going to select all of these and make small versions. Use the old image resizer, 91 by 91. Resize, please. Is good. Then we're just going to rename these to clean these up so Daz recognizes them as thumbnails. Because the image resizer adds extra garbage when it resizes. Rename with Power Renamer. There we go. And we were cleaning up files before, so I just have to hit apply and we should be good. We come over here and we hit the old refresh. And there we go. We got all our thumbnails good to go. All right, those are done. Let's get rid of, I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And if something has gone horribly, horribly wrong, I have the original address saved. All right. I don't actually need this. This is basically the top, the skirt, and the belt all in one figure, which we're not going to keep. So I'm going to move that, and I'm just going to stick it over here for now. At the top level, right up here. So, and eventually these will not travel later on with the rest of the outfit. All right, let's load in a Genesis 8. This takes a bit longer than Genesis 9 because I got a lot more garbage for Genesis 8. All right. No, are you done? Come on. Come on. There we go. All right, let's put on the belt, the shoes, the long skirt, the short skirt, and the top. See, those are all parented right. Um, I'm just going to grab all of these like that, and then I can apply the materials, which aren't in this folder here because they're all the way over here still. At some point, we're going to copy these over to the Genesis 8 folder as well. What did I want? I wanted the white with the blue trim. We want to use the silver belt, and I'm going to use the silver sandals. There we go. And then we just got to save all of this stuff back out. and render thumbnails. So let's hide all of that, bring you in, and zoom in, and save that. Okay, gotta remember to go over the Genesis 8 folder so we don't accidentally overwrite anything in Genesis 9. And let's sort this by name, so we do that. All right, me, outfit, belt, accessory waist, looks good. Render the tip file. Probably good enough. We were over 2,000 iterations. All right, and we're going to save these out over here. So that's the belt. I'm going to go ahead and straighten those legs out just for the belt, or just for the sandals. So that goes side to side -6. And the other one is 6. On the right side is 6. All right, there we go. All right, let's save the sandals out again. Parian sandals G8 female, looking good. Sandals G8 female. Yes. Me, pairing outfit, sandals, footwear, accept. Render the thumbnail, or render the tip file. Oh no, I'm in the ground. That's better. All right, save the tip file. I think up next is the long skirt. And I'm going to reset this so the legs aren't. Oops. I'll zoom in on this. And I'll use the same view for the short skirt too, so then it becomes obvious which is the long and which is the short. A lot, instead of zooming in on the short. Did I save the long skirt? I don't think I saved the long skirt. I may have, but I don't remember, so I'm going to redo it. Or do it, depending on whether or not I did it once already. I think that was right. I wasn't paying attention. Me, outfit, long skirt, wardrobe skirt. Okay, it was good. Long skirt, there we go. Short skirt. Let's save it. Short skirt. Me, outfit, skirt, short. Skirt, looks good. Render that. Close. Save the thumbnail. Save the tip file. All right, we're on to the top. All right, parent outfit, top, wardrobe, shirt. Looking good. Under the thumbnail. Save. All right. And then we're just going to save the outfit. So we're going to do it just with the short skirt, not the long skirt version. Um, Bring all of that back. Hide you. Come back to here. I'm going to leave the feet like that. And then we select Genesis 8 female and make sure I'm in the right folder. Oops, I went too far right here. Save this as a wearable preset. And this will be exclamation point outfit. Looks good. Render. Oh, it's still thinking about it. Fine, be that way. Right, overwrite that. Now let's clean these up. Okay, these all died. There should be, what, 6 of them, right? That's what we had. Genesis 9. And we're just gonna make our thumbnails from these. Resize. And rename so that they have the proper name that Daz will recognize for thumbnails. And yep, still have the same pattern in there. Is good. So we should be able to come over here, refresh. Yay. I'm still working on these. I have to come up with these. And I gotta rename these. Let's rename these real quick. Since we're here. I'm gonna change the AO to be Parian. I'm now gonna do some copying and pasting between the two, the G8 and the G9 folders. All right, let's get rid of all of these and replace them with the ones that say Parian. Is good. All right, come into the materials. We're going to copy all of this over to the Genesis 8 folder. I could do this in Daz too. Okay, should be good for now. I'm going to hit save on my thumbnail file so I can have that for later. It's 3 o'clock. I'm going to go for another hour. I think I'm just going to try to come up with some thoughts for. I'm probably going to generate some thoughts that I won't use for future project ideas. Someday there'll be a 1950 soldier. I'm not sure when I'll ever get to that. I do have this nice combat boot that I keep meaning to use for something. And I think I may have made that. Did I make that completely in Blender? It might have spent some time in Marvelous Designer. I don't remember. Anywho, I'm gonna see what happened to my projects. It's been a little while since we've looked at the projects. Speaking of which, I've got my thing up above here. I should update that with more recent pictures. I don't think I've updated that in a year or so. So maybe we'll do that. We'll do a little bit of a stream cleanup. Um, what am I looking for? Projects, PPT, planning projects. There we go. Bib overalls. Oh, that is way out of date. I don't need those. Survivor outfit, fan dance. We did the pumpkin suit. I did a refit on the bikini. 80s plaid outfit. I finally got around back to that, and it ended up being the 80s outfit that came out not too long ago. 50s outfit we've done. I still have the hotel. Someday we'll get finished. 50s swimsuit has been done. We did that. Cabaret outfit. No idea. You know what? I'm just going to delete all of this. And trench coat. I'm going to revise it, the trench coat, and rework that. Do I want to do. I was thinking of another wizardly outfit. Kind of like pants and a shirt and kind of a coat with boots and a floppy wizard hat. So maybe wizard. Okay, I don't know. Of course, we always want to do short skirts. You can never. Let's go. Let's go take a look at old projects that have kind of not been touched for a while. So old, I'm actually just going to go into my Marvelous Designer directory from way back when the world was new, and see if there's stuff in there. I was thinking maybe a Sinbad outfit. That was an idea. I'll put that in there. I think I kind of started one at one point, but I'm not sure if I liked the direction it was heading in. So where are you? Are you in Objects Marvelous Designer? Is that on the D drive somewhere? I think I moved you, didn't I? Yep. Yeah, I'm going to put that over there for a second. So what I'm looking for is folders named objects. I have to try to figure out what. There's one on the D drive. I probably put it on one of the archive drives. Uh, there's something over on the I drive. Nope. Let me see. There's a Marvelous Designer folder I think inside of one of my objects. Marvelous Designer M objects. Let's go take a look on the M drive. Oops. Oh, what's in here? See, there's a Sinbad outfit. Let's take a look at where that Kung Fu pants. Oh, that's right. I did Bruce Lee Kung Fu pants at one point, didn't we? Maybe I do Kung Fu pants, Kung Fu shirt. And shoes. I have a tent. I have Sinbad. There's Sinbad. Let's take a look at Sinbad. I think Sinbad I want to do pants, vest, sash. We'll put a sword. Um, boots. Did I say boots? Boots, pants, sash, and vest. Maybe a turban. I'm not sure how I can make a turban though. Maybe there's something online for. Let's see where we left off. This would have been like 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know. What's the date on that? 2022, 4 years ago. Not quite 4 years ago. Last time I touched this. Oh, you know what? That's Sinbad from the Harry, and it's that's a G8 male. You know what? I think I might take that, add a vest to it. We'll do it for Genesis. We'll do it for Genesis 9. And I'm pretty sure my belt's backwards. I have a bad tendency putting belts backwards, don't I? I do. I'll redo that belt. Um, do I have a Sinbad folder actually? Let's find out. Let's copy you and see if we have what we have in our current projects. I do have a Sinbad folder. What is in here? I don't have a Z project in here. Hmm. How old is this? This is more recent than this. I'm gonna just paste that in here. What did I have over here? I think I actually may have had something done. Yeah, there's the shirt. You know what? I think I might have tried converting this to Genesis. Whatchamacallit at some time. Genesis, the Genesis 8 male. Yo, Napsmore, how are you doing? Boy, my volume was way down on that. We'll also have to. I haven't figured out the. I haven't got the command to work yet, so I have to type an individual shout out. Still, what do we got in here for Sinbad? Do I want to do Sinbad as a female outfit, and we do a Genesis 8 female, and we can have it work with the Genesis? Ooh, I like that. It has a nice little dagger in there. Oh, and I got pointy boots, and I got a sword in here. You know what? Maybe, yeah, although this probably has to be reworked because I'm not going to do one for Genesis 8 male. So I think yeah, I think I'll pick that up. I've got odds and ends on a Sinbad outfit. I think I'll put that on the near list. So let's close you down. Let's see what else. What other things do I got floating about that I might want to pick up? I think I already did. I did wraps at one point. So that actually became the Oracle outfit. So probably not that. Doing okay, although the arthritis in your hand is acting up as the weather changes. Oh, getting older is only good compared to the alternative. Exactly. What have I got in here? Nope, that's we're gonna ignore that. 1920s. Did I ever I have a 1920s coat. Do I want to do anything with that? So I was doing material files, or I was rendering thumbnails and stuff for the Parian Greek inspired outfit, and now I'm just trying to figure out. I don't have any ideas for projects past that, so I'm kind of trying to think of what to do after this. Because tomorrow I'll knock out the special morphs for the current outfit, and then I'll start working on promos. I don't know, maybe I'll do something with that. It's kind of interesting. I think a trench coat actually might be the next one. I'm going to take the commission I did for Willie and rework that. First things first on that will be to fix. So I think we might actually pop back to that and start working on it a bit. That's an interesting. I don't know. Hmm. And then maybe make a 20s hat to go with it, and maybe some 20 shoes. And we'll call that a 1920s coat set. Here, we're going to do a little bit of Googling. Nobody really wants to buy a 1920s coat set, though. Although it looks cool. I don't want to spend too much time on that. Let's see. 1920s coats. Signing off early. I'm at my artful daughter's place, so gonna go watch those grandchildren play music. All right. Thanks for being here, Art. It is always a pleasure to catch you, man. We will catch you later, buddy. Yeah, I think I'll. You know what? I think I might. I'm gonna put that on the. We'll put that on the list, and we'll add hats and shoes to go with that. Although it should probably have stockings too, but I'm feeling a little lazy. Maybe we'll just add some geo shelf stockings to go with that. Let's put that here. Wizard. Let's put pants, shirt, coat, hat, and we'll maybe add a wand to go with that. Both her and her children have drawing talents like Henry. Okay, nice. We'll do that. So Sinbad, it's like boots, pants, shirt. I'm gonna add a vest to that. We don't have a vest on that. Belt, dagger, sword. I'm doing a Ray Harryhausen Sinbad, so I don't think I need a. Actually, I'll look into a turban, but I'm not sure I can make one that'll look good. I'll put that there. 1920s coat, and we'll just do the coat, hat, shoes, and geo. I know everybody hates geo shells, but geo shell hose. And let me put this somewhere where I can find it later. Do I have a 19th? Let's take a look at my projects. over here. That's the wrong. Nope, you're over there, aren't you? I don't know if I have a 1920s folder. I do not. Let's put a 1920s folder in here. I also have a 1920s swimwear. I've always been meaning to get that done at some point. The old decades of swim has a couple of little gaps in it, one of which is the 1920s. Also, I don't think I did a 1930s, but I don't know. The 1940s never seemed like a really popular set. They're kind of boring, but I don't know. I still feel like I want to do those. Right in here. Let's do file new folder. And I'm just going to say 20s. And I'm just going to drop this in here. Maybe a 1930s aviator set. That would be in pulp though. And I might like repurpose boots and pants. And you know what was really popular with pilots back in the 30s was shirt and ties. Actually, I think everybody just wore shirt and ties with everything. Let's take a look at female aviators. That's got a lot of parts too, so I don't want to spend. I don't want. I'm trying to find smaller sets, 1 to 3 pieces that I can kind of knock out fairly quick. An aviator outfit would be boots, pants, shirt with tie, flight jacket, and a flight helmet. Anyhow, that's in the pulp category, so we're going to go to pulp. And let's just make a new folder for that idea. 1930s, 1940s, good for nose art on aircraft. I know. Well, I have the 1940s Grable swimsuit, which is pretty much based off of the Betty Grable pinup. So I don't know. In the 1930s, I have most of that done, so it probably wouldn't take that long to redo it. And I did start a 1920s swimsuit. So I think that's still, I think actually, I think I may have done the swim cap. So maybe we'll put those on there. What is this? Aviator. I know I saw somebody did an aviator outfit recently on Daz, but this is that was more of a flight suit thing. This is more of an ancient 30s pulp hero. And you know what? I can do so I do have breeches we did with an outfit, but it had a this would give me the ability to make my Doc Savage outfit too. I can kind of bind a Doc Savage outfit so we can make a distressed Doc Savage shirt to go with the aviator outfit. I don't know if you're all familiar with the old pulp Doc Savage, that man of bronze. He always was like with his torn shirt. That reminds me, I always really wanted to rewatch that Doc Savage movie with Ron Ely. I haven't seen that, and honestly, I haven't seen that since probably it came out. It was goofy. It was cheesy. I want to watch it again. And let's face it, Buckaroo Banzai was basically Doc Savage for the 80s. I'm going to put you over here in my 20s. I don't know why I got a Sinbad over there. All right, let's get back to the list. So what are we going to do? Aviator. Um, boots, pants, and it'll be riding pants basically because that's what they did. And I have done riding pants. Um, I haven't done a shirt and tie yet. Jacket and a flight helmet. Goofy and cheesy often. Yeah. Sea Ice Pirates. uh, I haven't seen that in a little while either. Oh, I did recently rewatch Slime Bolorama. And apparently somebody made a two after many years after the fact, like in 22 or 23, I think. Uh, Jacket. What am I doing? Helmet. I think that's good. Boots, pants, a shirt, tie, jacket. Uh, I'm actually going to make a separate distressed. So, so when we do pants and shirt, there's also going to be undone pants, undone shirt. And I'm also going to make a. Let me see if I can find. Let's do a little Googling here. I want to see how much. Doc Savage. The ship has herpes. Oh, yeah. Here we go. This is actually a picture from the Ron Eli. I used to love him as Tarzan as a kid. Him and Johnny Weissmuller. But I remember watching Tarzan with Ron Eli on TV. Can I not open that image? Don't you just hate it when people make it so you can't right click and open an image? Why you gotta make things so hard, dude? You know I can just get it anyhow. You're you're stopping me from right clicking on something isn't gonna stop me from actually getting it. I know the secret. There we go. That's the classic look, the torn up shirt. I'm going to do something like that. I think the torn up shirt will be basically unbuttoned. I know there's some where it was, let's see if we can find others. I know we had others where they were more, I don't know, I'm looking for kind of like this. Open. This is from Wikipedia. I kind of like this one because it like still has part of a cuff on it. So I might do something like that. Like you can see it's torn there, so um and then I can just do pants and we're basically riding breeches. Um maybe a well, my belt's not going to say Doc Savage on it. Maybe I should do a belt. I may or may not do regular riding boots. You know what? The thing is, I have regular riding boots already with a pair of breeches in one of my outfits. So I think I might take the lace up boots. But here, let's add belt. You know how I hate belts. Shirt, torn shirt, old spice. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Um, early women aviators. So we know Amelia Earhart was a classic early aviator. Um, often they didn't wear boots. Often they just wore untucked. She's got boots on. She's got boots on. I think maybe I'm going to repurpose and we'll try to fit them. Lensman. I'm not actually, I never actually read the Lensman. See, she's got breeches and boots. Let me take a look at my store and see what. So I have two outfits in this store that I'm probably going to steal parts from, um, as starting points. Where's Chris's dad's store? Yeah, there's that 80s outfit. By the way, we do have a new out. We do not have a new out today. The D-Force AeroCore 80s outfit. I'm gonna scroll. Hopefully, we don't get banned. Lemsman is certainly not woke. It was a little, it kind of a little predates that. Um, so here was the D-Force Pulp, and here's the Storm Raider. So what I'm thinking is maybe redoing these boots a little bit. Oh, you know what? I can probably rework the shirt too. I think I'm going to have an option where you can either, getting a shirt under a coat may not work very well. So I still want to make a long sleeve shirt. So maybe we'll take this shirt, add a tie to it, and make it long sleeve so it cuffs at the wrists and the boots. And then also, I wanted to take these breeches and rework them. But that shirt's not really. This is actually based off an old comic book character called Valkyrie from Airboy. I first saw it in the 80s, but apparently it was from the 40s or 50s, the original Airboy. I don't know what kind of gun she was using. She was probably using a Mauser, but I modeled mine off of a Belgian auto pistol because everybody uses Mausers. Anyhow, what do we got here? Aviator. What were my other ideas? I've already forgotten. I need some. Oh yeah, the swimsuits, 1920s swim, 1930s swim. That would be an easy one to knock out, but I don't think they're going to sell really well. I think maybe short dress. I'll look at short dresses and see what we can come up with that looks nice. Short dress with accessories. Which one of the, hey, if it was good enough. Oh, a Mauser. I know. That's one of the reasons why I didn't use a Mauser in this. I gotta say, I do love a Mauser from the old Rocketeer. Um, so someday I might. I think I started a Mauser at one point and it got put off to the side. I have a 1911 Colt floating around somewhere. Um, Doc Savage didn't use guns, did he? I don't think so. He wasn't a gun. Do I want to put a gun though with my Aver? No, I don't think so. Although maybe. No, I don't think so. I was thinking of maybe PI or something, but I'm not happy with that. Okay, short dress with accessories. Hey Chris, you sent me I sent you DM. Can you peek at it real quick and see if it will pass tonight? Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Charles didn't even have to use the Hey Chris command. Where is my Oh, ad complete. Oh no, the dreaded ads. Where's the Discrod? Oh no, there's the Discrod. There's the DM. I see no DM. Why I see no DM? I don't see. Where's Charles? There's Charles. It says February 14th. Why weren't you? Oh, now it's highlighted. Um, Hold on a second. I think we might be able to sneak that one past as long as we don't make too much noise about it. Athrun. Not that Atherin's listening right now. Um, don't put it on stream. I think if we don't zoom in, we can probably show that. I think we've shadowed enough. Um, that's the Arden outfit, isn't it? It shadowed pretty well if you don't zoom in. I think so too. I think we'll go ahead and um, let's go shopping. Let's go shopping. See if we can find um, cocktail or clubbing dress. All right, I hate fast fashion, except it's a really cool place to look for clothes. But oh my god, reject all, go away. What the? Everything with the fucking pop-ups. It's the entire internet is just. It's what was it's the term in shitification. It's the reason why Instagram isn't as good as it was a couple years ago because they just had to figure out a way to squeeze money. And when you try to squeeze people for money, it means you make it less useful. So this is kind of like the outfit I just did a little while ago, the sassy heat wave, and I probably got the idea from here, which is probably why it's showing me short dresses. I had a top I did, but I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do with the bottom. That's pretty basic. I was thinking of doing a little black dress for 2026, and I haven't quite decided what to go with that. So maybe we'll put that here in short dress 2026 LBD. And I want something unique. You know what? Let's Google a little black dress for 26 and see if we can get like an article from Shop New Styles Day. We'll put Nordstrom's over there. Uh 25 chic black dresses. I'm going to take a quick look at this on the other screen just to make sure. I'm fairly sure something like that would be safe, but we'll just take a quick peek and see if I can find a nice looking LBD. I think I just saw something I kind of liked. That off the shoulder was a little bit like the skirt I did last winter. Most little black dresses, let's face it, are pretty simplistic and standard and really haven't changed in a couple of decades. Some of these just look like frickin' sacks and they're long. All right, let's bring this up. I'm not really seeing anything I'm loving in here though. What the? It's always with the frickin' give us your email. Here's a coupon. And of course, there's always the Google ads, all the Google ads everywhere. I saw that one. I kind of like, that's kind of interesting. I don't even know if that's actually in here. I'm going to put that off to the side. I kind of like the crossover. So maybe like a crossover halter thing. And then we can just bring the rest of the dress down. I, of course, will put a big split down the side because I like big splits down the side. And we'll make it in a mid and a short, and a mid and a midi. Um, so anyhow, can I just put you open image in new tab? I already did that, didn't I? No, that's over there. Let's take a look at what Nordstrom's got real quick. That's just the jacket. I've got stuff that's already like that, I think. That's kind of interesting. I've been thinking maybe I'll do maybe a pirate. I keep thinking I want to do a pirate, but I'm not sure I want to spend that much time because we need boots, we need pants, we need sash, uh, bodice, shirt. Here, let me just list all the parts that I would want in a. So boots, pants, sash. Um, is it a bodice? A bodice, shirt, hat, sword. Something like that. The other option is instead of pants, do a skirt. And the bodice might be, maybe not a. Yeah, I think if I do a bodice, yeah, I'm leaning towards doing a bodice. I could just do a shirt, and that ends up being an awful lot like the maid outfit. Maybe not. Which or there was a bar wench outfit I did. Anywho, I'm not well done. Let's go take a look at this. So that I might be able to do something with that. I kind of like the big bow. I hope this is one of the outfits. I want to see what the back looks like. I kind of like that. That almost looks like a skirt. I gotta admit, I do kind of like halter tops. And we can do a really low droop on the back. I kind of like these harsh shapes, so that's probably just one giant square. So that gives me kind of an interesting shape. You know what? Maybe I'm going to do that one. Let me just, can I just copy this and just put these over here? Is that going to work? Yep. Let me grab the back in case can't find this again. I grabbed the wrong thing. And we'll pair that with a pair of heels, and I'll add bracelets and earrings. If I do a tube dress, I could add a necklace. Anywho, let's I think that's probably the winner out of this batch that I like. I mean, that's classic, but that's eh. That's just a sack. Seriously. That's just like two pieces of a rectangular cloth sewn together at the shoulders. See, that's kind of a nice little. The problem with the little black dresses, they really tend to be pretty simple. If you do the short skirt, maybe underwear with special morse around just one ankle, if doable without. Well, you could just usually use the. You can just usually use the on the ground morphs or one of the down morphs in my stuff, and then positioning it over an ankle. That's usually easy enough to do. Or maybe users don't think about stuff like that. Which is my way of saying I'm probably not going to put a morph that's just hanging off an ankle. Maybe a little band like. Maybe if I do something like this without the straps. Um, And I don't mind people throwing ideas. I just hope you just don't get bent out of shape if it doesn't strike me as something I really want to do. Because sometimes the ideas do work out. Art occasionally gets his paisleys. um, See, here's what I do. I like see parts of an outfit, and then I like kind of go from there. So I kind of like this big band with maybe the bow. And if I don't do the straps, or even with the straps, I can. This actually lends itself to maybe doing a necklace along with a bracelet, earrings, and shoes. And I would probably make it shorter. Let's go shopping. It's only 328. I'll take two. Oh, this has got the split in the back. You know what? Can I just copy these? I'm gonna just rat hole this over here as ideas too. On those heels with just the one strap behind it. I kind of like that heel. I maybe use that. So maybe those are ideas for. So I have two options, and maybe one will be LBD 2026, and the other one would just like be some other sort of short skirt. This is more of a classic LBD look, at least to me. And then I can maybe make another. You know what? We This might make a nice spring outfit, and anything I make in the next few weeks would probably not come out till March or April. Well, definitely not. Right, stuff I'm making now will be lucky if it gets out in March with the way Daz has been releasing stuff. I'm fingers crossed that they can get back to 30 days, but I don't know. We'll see. All right, I think, what do we got? I got 15 minutes left, and I'm still. I know what I'm going to spend the rest of the time kind of just looking for ideas. And maybe body chains. I keep thinking of doing something with body chains. Um, and my cheap ass way of doing body chains would just be displacement maps. But it lets me do all sorts of cool loopy alternate patterns. So maybe I'll put body chains. I'll stick that in there. You have ideas for scenes, but you need to build things in Blender to look the way you want them to look. Slows you down. Yeah. Well, the more you use Blender, the better you get. Well, I guess that goes with most things in life. If you're paying attention to what you're doing. If you're really not paying attention to what you're doing, it really doesn't get faster. Um, well, I guess you get the muscle memory speed right up to a certain point, and then if you try to actually actively get better, you can get faster. But there's a certain point where you'll plateau with muscle memory. I think this. I'm going to take a look at stuff that I've already done. We'll do that for 15 minutes. So we'll plow back through the. Let's go take a look at the. So let's go. Let me go dig up my old swimsuits. We'll take a look at those. I think projects. Is it in Beach Party? I think they're in the Beach Party. It's been a little while since I did a swimsuit, so I forget where the folder is. See, we do have a 20 swim. I do have a wood folder. I made progress on this, and cat's belt. What is that? Cat's pajamas swimsuit. Oh, I was going to call this cat's pajamas swimsuit. There we go. So the 1920s had a suit. They had like bottoms, and this would have a belt, and I would want a swim cap for that. I'm not sure you can see these off to the side. And I think I actually may have gotten started on this, but it was for Genesis 8, so I'm probably going to go back and rework it. So let's see if we can find the original Marvelous Designer Z Proj 20 swimwear. There we are. So last touched in 24. Let me copy that. Let's move it over here. Chris, I'm going to go downtown and get me something to eat. Hey, thanks for being here, Charles. We will catch you later, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, Charles has left the building. If I post naughty stuff, it'll be over in Charles's Discord. If you ever want to see anything naughty from me, and it might be in DeviantArt, I don't know, or Rod's gallery. What am I doing? 20s swim. Let's put you in here. Actually, let's spend a couple minutes refitting this to Genesis 9. And actually, let's go. Actually, before I do that, let me find the 30s. 30 swim. I'll move that over. I may have got this further along in Daz too, but just for Genesis 9, so or just for Genesis 8. So I'm probably, if I do this, we'll probably revisit it and rework it. Yeah, we'll rework that. Let's put a whip folder in here. Let's put this in there. Let's take a quick look at this 1930s style. Let me see if I can fit this to Genesis 9 without too much. I think I basically will have to make it at least a little bit shorter. Maybe we make the whole thing a little bit smaller just because of the height difference between Genesis 8 and Genesis 9. There we go. I can't grab the edge. Oh no. Don't you hate it when you just can't get the... There we go. Anyhow, that's where I left off for a 1930s swimsuit. So let's get rid of... Let's delete that. That might not even be a stream safe avatar. Oh my. I guess lucky he was dressed. Um, Genesis 9. Is that the right? I think that's it. Let's do that. I think it's frozen. I'm going to move you down. And we'll just run the sim and see what happens. I think it's a little... I think it's just a little baggy on her. So, maybe we just squeeze it down a little bit. Really need to start figuring out shaders and DAS for that matter. Getting better at model making. I'm sorry, and animating for KSP models, but I have to take a bit to figure out shaders in Blender. Yeah, I don't really use shaders in Blender that much. It kind of makes sense though. I think that was a little too much. So maybe we pull you back out a little. And we'll resim. Ideally, this should come down right through the crotch. So it almost looks like it's a skirt. But it has an underpart on it. And how are you? That might be a good start. I got to re-examine how I've got these done. I might have to swap these out for modern knots. Yeah, I'm probably going to do that. So anyhow, let me save this and then we'll take a look at the 20s outfit. These are old knots, which is basically just this weird little knot figure uh stuck back there with a rigid follow node. These days I've got a little bow I'm probably going to swap out. That can be untied later. So we'll update it with that. So here, let's stop that. Let's do file, save project, save as project. And I'm just going to say G9 on this. We've got 5 minutes. We'll take a quick look at the 1920s swimsuit and call it a day. So the 30s is actually kind of an interesting look. It's not too plain. It's got a little bit of interesting detailing to it. And you can use that with your Indiana Jones adventures. So let's pop over here. Let's go back over to the right there. All right, let's launch. Let's do file open. Where am I, by the way? Am I actually in the right folder here? I am. Excellent. See, that's classic 1920s look. And I do have a swim cap. Yay! I did start a swim cap. This is the one where the cops would come up and measure this distance to make sure that if it was too short, they would take you to jail or they would get you for indecent exposure. Aha! 15 and a half inches. Take her away, boys. Save as project. We'll do this. We'll call you the G9. You approve of these changes. Yeah, I do too. G9. That's what I'm doing. All right. So let's see. Oh no. The shorts are trying to crawl out on top of the other. You know what? Let's make this all a little bit smaller. We're going to add some layering in here just to make sure that this stays on top. I don't know, what layer are you guys on? You're 0. Why are you trying to get on top of something that's in layer 1? What are you? I actually added shape to my belts, didn't I? You're all belt, and you all should be like maybe 5 so that you sit on top of the. I'm not sure. What is that? What are you? Oh, your waistband. Oh, that's my problem. You're not supposed to be doy. That's better. And actually, I kind of like the floppy look. 1920s swimwear looked so floppy and loose. Um, you know what? It looks like I may set that belt up to come apart. And how's my cap looking? My cap needs to come down the ears a little bit more. There, we got a nice swim cap to go with our swimsuit. You know what? I might pick this one up sooner than later. I gotta fix that belt, but other than that, and we are at 4 o'clock. Let's call this, let's save this. Let me kind of see if I can prioritize. I do kind of want to do a little black dress sooner than later. So, and the trench coat. Do I want to do a little black dress before the trench coat? I don't know. I did just do a dress not too long ago, a short dress, but and I do actually want to do both of these. And I kind of like this one, although I like the idea of saying LBD. Um, I don't know. I think maybe we'll try to get the just the trench coat. It'll just be the trench coat. Um, now that I'm a little more comfortable doing belts. This I think I'm going to put off maybe I don't know. I'm in the 1920s coat idea is falling into the rear here. So I'm going to move that down to the bottom here. Let's take wizard pants and shirt. I'm going to move those down to the bottom. Although if I get inspired, I was on a fantasy kind of kick, so I've got a lot of kind of fantasy D&D-ish outfits. Um, I do kind of like the idea of getting to Sinbad sooner than later. I like the idea of the aviator outfit. I think maybe we'll move my 1920s outfit up to here. I'll do short dress in here maybe. Here. And then I don't know, I'll sort those out. I think I've got a good list and I may deviate. We'll see how this goes. Anyhow, thank you all for being here. We will be back tonight, 8 p.m. for the Saturday Night Social. It's an art share, it's a Discord chat, it's an old cartoon. If you can be there, that would be cool. Hey, thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Hey, if you're on YouTube, thanks. Like and subscribe. That would be awesome. We saw Art and we saw Axel over on the YouTube today. Yeah, thanks for being here, Napsmore. It's always good to see you. And check out our friend Napsmore playing the Kerbal Space Program. If you can, give him a follow. Let's see who's on the Twitchverse. So if you're on Twitch with me right now, let's see who's on the Twitchverse. Oh, hey, Chris Cox is on right now. Let's see who's on the Twitchverse. Oh, hey, Chris Cox is on. Where the frick is my volume? There we go. Mute that shit. Chris Cox is on. Nobody wants to hear me. Volume. There we go. Mute that shit. Okay, nobody wants to hear me. I'm still echoing like a mad fiend. Okay, somewhere. I'm still echoing like a mad fiend. Okay, somewhere. I'm still echoing. Mute the tab. That worked. There was a button that said mute. I clicked on it. That, of course, didn't work. All right, my friend Supreme Doom is on. She is a crafter. Our friend Sally Quinn Creations is on. She does art and body painting. Tatty Bidet is on. Is he doing art or is he gaming? I think I just rated Tatty Thursday though. So we'll see who else is on here. I'm going down to the bottom and then we'll work our way up. Hey, my friend Chan the Magic Man is on. He's doing GTA. So maybe we'll just go over and hang out with Chan. That's pretty chill. I don't have to think much and I can just kind of watch him do stuff in GTA. I think we'll do that. We'll just go over and say hi to Chan the Magic Man. Oh, Commander Biscuits. Maybe have I rated? It's been at least a few weeks, and I haven't been. Also, feel free to buy stuff at Daz. I just had a new outfit. The Aero Core 80s aerobics outfit is now available at Daz. That came out today. And what else? Check out my man Charles. He doesn't actually stream, but he does have a Discord. If I do post not safe for work stuff, it'll probably be over there. So, I think we're good to go. Let me do this. We got the raid calls. If you can join the raid and you're not a subscriber, you can use that. If you are a subscriber, you are cool and you get to use the sub raid call. And we'll do the slash raid and we'll go over and say hi to Commander Biscuits. Biscuit doing the art thing. I appreciate everybody being here. And if I don't see you tonight, I hope to see you in the future. So, hasta la vista, baby. Wrong button. No, that's the right button. I just have to come over here and do that.